happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another Top Recruit. We got Ryland Smith here from Torrey Pines. She is committed to go play water polo at the University of Michigan. So I'm assuming even if she is not a huge football fan, she's pretty stoked off of what happened a couple of weeks ago with them beating the Ohio State. She's a CIF champion. A lot of great things to talk about. But first off, just congratulations on Michigan. Let's talk about that. What was that decision like for you? What ultimately made you want to become a Wolverine?
Well, that was my dream school. I went there for a junior day my junior year. And then the whole year after that, through the whole recruiting process, the relationship I gained with the coach, and then like continuing to talk to the players even after I left, I just felt like that was the perfect place for me. And I'm very, very excited to be going there.
Okay, so dream school, that's freaking all. Like, has this always been from a young age, the dream school? How did you wind up wanting to go to Michigan if you're from San Diego? Explain.
Well, I've always played sports and I knew I always wanted to be a college athlete. I started water polo my freshman year. So that wasn't really like my dream school until I started the recruiting process and I looked at all my options. I've always known I've wanted to go into business because my parents are in business and I've enjoyed like watching them do that. Um, and then I just did a bunch of research on Michigan and it kind of, as the like recruitment process went on, narrowed it down. And that just had basically the full package of like the team environment. They're very supportive of all their athletes. They have great academics, great balance. And as I mentioned to the coach, is amazing. So,
Now, I do need to double check and forgive my ignorance, but the pool there is indoors. Yes, you are not switching to playing
yeah.
in an outdoor pool in the Upper Peninsula in winter.
Yeah, it's all inside because if
All
it
right.
snows or anything.
I say that jokingly, but sometimes people from that part of the country are a lot tougher than us San Diego natives. So I didn't know if you were all going to be swimming in like 33-degree water with coaches being like, yeah, just toughen up on all that. All right. So then I always ask kids when they are done with the recruiting process, and it sounds like everything worked out perfectly according to plan to you, but you didn't accidentally wind up like that. So, what would be some advice that you would then give to younger kids anywhere along the process? Because you started relatively, late in the game, if you will, as just coming into water polo as a freshman, and only 3.5 years later, you wind up with a college choice. So, what's some advice you would give to some kids that are anywhere along the journey?
Yeah, I would say don't limit yourself on like reach out to every school, even if you think it's way above like where you right now see yourself going, because from like freshman year to senior year, you have so much time to grow that if you limit yourself at the start, you can't really come back sometimes. So it's better just at the start to reach out to everyone. And then also your academics are very important because that opens up more opportunities because a lot of schools I know people where it's like, oh, you have the talent for this school, but maybe you don't have the GPA. And so it's very important that your academics are a priority too.
Well, you talk about those 4 years they got you here. You won a CIF championship your sophomore year, and you were fairly instrumental in that. What has the process been like for you over these 4 years? Like, first off, how did you like you did you did you always do swim? Did you just like stumble into water polo because you didn't have a winter sport to do? How did you even wind up here? And then what has been this journey for you for 3+ now into your fourth season with Torrey Pines?
Yeah, I did swim club through like elementary school, and then I started playing travel softball, and that took over a lot of my time. So I stopped swimming and I went fully into travel softball. And then my freshman year, I wanted to play a sport every season. So I did cross country in the fall, and then I was supposed to play basketball, but there was a sign that said no experience needed, actually. So I tried out for water polo, and then the combination of like being able to throw and the hand-eye coordination of softball and then the swimming experience really helped. And then I kind of just fell in love with it and just stuck to water polo from then on.
So then what has this adventure been like for you? Because you guys from relatively a somewhat the water polo community in San Diego is kind of like there's a small group of schools up at the top with like Bishops, Carlsbad, Coronado, La Jolla that are the traditional blue bloods, and
Yeah.
everything else is considered kind of the up and coming schools. And you guys have been a very big part of that in the last couple of years, winning a Division II championship, moving into Division I. What do you remember from that championship run? What has these 4 years of high school season been like for you?
Well, my freshman year, we got a new coach too. So Brandon's been with us these now, this is his fourth year, my senior year. I think that was a big change is we like freshman year was building and then sophomore year was a building a lot more. And it was just like, I think it was a good change in coaching and he brought a lot and we just had so many like new talent that the chemistry on the team was really good too. And that kind of built up of like, we just started to work really well together, especially at the end of my sophomore season when we won. Is like by the end, if you look at our first game to our last game, we grew so much as a team, just like chemistry wise.
So then talk to us about this season. You guys are just underway. As of us recording this, the season is fresh and new. What kind of, what's the outlook for the squad this year? What kind of goals do you have set as a team? What kind of goals do you have set for yourself?
Yeah. This year I'm just using this season like to really, soak in the last bits of senior year and to use it to get ready for next year personally. And then as a team, I think we're in a really good spot. We have a lot of young talent in the sophomore class, and then we have the returners from last year too. So we have a lot to build on this year. And I see it being like the past years where, we start off, we're getting used to each other and whatever, but by the end of the season, we should be really strong.
Water polo for the somewhat uninitiated, I have ranked as like one of the most insanely difficult sports to do, up there with just, I mean, wrestling. And I know we don't have hockey here, but like hockey is another one where you don't realize quite how physically demanding it is. You're swimming constantly the whole time, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But literally pregame, nails are checked to see if you're
Yeah.
carrying weapons into the pool. It is kicking, it is drowning. So can you give people a little bit of an idea, if they are maybe not initiated, into how chaotic and just overall difficult it is to score a goal on offense in water polo? Just like what a possession is like for you as somebody who, you get the ball, defenses are targeting you, you have to fight off people and see, like it seems like a lot. So walk us through what that might be like, from your point of view.
Yeah, it's definitely a very aggressive sport. Um, it's kind of become like second nature. Like people are always like, you don't touch the bottom the whole time. But I'd say like once you play for at least a season or two, you like get used to the cardio endurance of playing for that long without touching the bottom. Um, it's yeah, definitely aggressive because people are all over you, they're grabbing suit, everything like that. Um, we definitely like you look around, you see the situation, and that grows the more you play. So yeah.
Has the game slowed down for you a little bit, or are there still times where you're just like, okay, there's a hand here, there's splashing here, and you sometimes are like, you get the ball and you just got to chuck it in the general direction of the goal and hope that it goes in? Or have you mastered your environment now?
I would definitely not say I've mastered it. It's continuously a learning game for me. It's definitely gotten easier though to like read the situation or just take a moment to like calm down. Like maybe I'll just draw a foul or something because that'll help me get like a little more grasp on what's going on. But no, the game's still very fast.
Yeah, because there are times where I see somehow the person that is driving that whole offense is able to get a hand up, rotate the hand, fire at the goal. And I'm like, I didn't see a body attached to that hand. All I saw was whitewash and other hands. I got to assume also, though, you end a game or at least a season with a fair amount of bruising and wear and tear on your legs, because as you're swimming back, as they're swimming back, there's probably some good natured kicking and ribbing and elbowing and all that. What's the wear and tear like? How do you maintain for a whole season?
Well, generally that stuff is caught. Like if there's big kicks or
Okay.
elbows or punches or anything, those are caught by the referees, thankfully. Um, but yeah, you definitely like I've taken punches, I've taken kicks. You just kind of gotta like get used to it. Like I have scars from being scratched in water polo, bruises all the time. It's kind of just like every other sport that's like contact wise.
I mean, maybe not every other sport, but that shows the toughness. And she's like, yeah, 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 scars, whatever. For you, going through a whole season also sometimes, requires a mental element. Is there a pregame ritual, playlist, something that you guys do as a team to remain loosey goosey? That's a good luck charm that works for you guys that you're doing this season or any seasons.
Yeah. Right now we haven't really like developed a pregame thing. We always stretch before as a team and then we usually play music. But
What's on the pregame playlist then?
yeah, I don't run the pregame playlist. That's we have another girl do that. But yeah, we just try to like stay very upbeat. And sometimes if it's like we're going into a harder game, we'll like have a little team talk of like, what do you want to work on this game? Or, some more motivation because it can be intimidating going into a big game.
Speaking of big games, looking ahead at the schedule, if you had to say people come out to one game this season, who is the rival? I know that you guys and LCC are like school rivals, but always every program has a different one that they like to say, "Hey, we have the beef specifically with them." Any game that you would specifically say, "Hey, people, that's where we're going to be out for a little bit of blood."
Our entire schedule this year is pretty stacked.
Just the next game. You're just at every
Well,
game is the
our
rival.
our next game actually is our LCC game tomorrow. So yeah, that's going to be a big game because of the school rivalry, and it's transferred over to water polo too. That's a very big game for us. And then pretty much all of our league games, because last year I think we got second in league. So this year it'll be tough competition for league games too.
All right, so gunning for league, looking to leave a deep playoff run. I always like asking seniors this, and there's no right or wrong or anywhere in between answer, but you talked about how there's a fair amount of younger kids on your squad, some sophomores, maybe you see yourself in some of them, but what do you want to leave behind as a legacy, you personally or this senior class to the Torrey Pines water polo program?
Um, I think we want like as a class because I know a couple of us have been through the whole like winning the D2 championship and then moving up to open division and all that. That it like doesn't matter where your team starts. We grew so much in 3 years, 4 years that like hopefully the freshmen and the sophomores can see that even like when we leave the senior class, they keep building and they keep striving for like open and high rankings. And then personally, being the first commit in a while, I just hope that like the hard work, it shows that the hard work pays off and then that they can come to me with any questions that they have.
Well, and that everybody remembers no experience needed. Come one,
Yeah.
come all, anyone that's an athlete or not, just anyone, get more
Yeah.
people, get in the pool, and let's see if we can't have some more good results like that. Ryland, thank you so much for joining us. I look, everybody, I like to hit you with these are the people that are going to go on to represent all of us as a San Diego section. So definitely great to go support them while you still have the chance when they're playing here in San Diego. Thank you very much for being on with us. Best of luck this season. And it's go big blue, go blue. What
So,
go
yeah.
blue. All right. Thank you very much again for being on with us.
Yeah.